there, crafty crew, and welcome to my channel. I'm Jenna or Jenna Cat, and I make nerdy, crafty videos here on YouTube. I am a massive cluttercore girly with tons of cute collectibles that, let's face it, don't end up getting displayed half the time, and amass in piles around this room. This is already a pretty cramped room as is, so any type of mess gets wildly out of control extremely fast. So for today's video, we're diving into a project that's been long overdue. A stream room makeover. Okay, makeover is maybe a little bit of an over-exaggeration, and I may have already started this transformation prior to hitting record on this intro. Padfoot, what are you doing? Can you not? No, could you not do that? Hi, sweet boy. Oh, okay. He wants to be in the lap, I guess. Stick around if you want to see me turn this into this. And I actually did a stream room tour about 10 months ago. That video is kind of mid if I'm being honest, and I've upgraded some of the stuff in that video since then, but if you want to have a deeper look into some of the stuff I do have in this room, then definitely go check that one out. And if you want to see how I built my streaming/gaming PC, I have a video for that as well. Okay, enough with this introduction, let's get into some organizing. First things first, I gotta clear everything out. This gives me a fresh perspective on space and lets me consolidate all my items for better planning. Okay, this is taking way too long. Let's speed things up. I did a quick vacuum and scrubbed a nice little cat barf spot courtesy of Dipper. Next up on my makeover to-do list, the pegboard. My plan is to use it not just for hanging items, but also to help with some lighting issues. The blinds alone don't keep the sunlight from blowing out the background of my videos, so I'm hoping the pegboard will help diffuse some of that brightness. What I didn't realize, however, was how much of a pain in the ass this thing would be to install. Originally, I thought I could screw the L brackets onto the pegboard and then drill the pegboard into the windowsill, but soon realized that I didn't have enough clearance between the pegboard and the window to get the drill all the way to the back. After a tactic shift, I screwed the L bracket into the windowsill first, making sure to use drywall anchors because even though this window frame looks like wood, it was indeed not wood once drilled into. And just as a note, I use drywall anchors for pretty much anything I hang for the remainder of this video for that extra security. Remember when I vacuumed earlier? Yeah, that was totally stupid of me because I made this huge mess drilling holes and we'll have to vacuum all over again. To my utter dismay and frustration, however, when I went to drill the pegboard to the now secured L brackets, I realized I was missing a key feature. Yeah, I had nothing for the screws to attach to on the other side of the pegboard, so I just fell. Let's revel in my moment of existential dread as I stare dramatically at my increasingly failing project. But I refuse to give up. Once I have a project in mind, I will do every stupid thing I can think of until I complete it. I tried to drill the screws into wood blocks, but this was proving to be quite impossible as a solo adventure. Padfoot arrived to offer some of his construction expertise, but I didn't like any of his suggestions, so I had to shoo him away. I attempted to wedge the block in with more blocks, but I couldn't get a tight enough snug, so I admitted defeat and asked for help. Not recorded was enlisting the help of my boyfriend to hold everything steady while I drilled the pilot holes and secured the pegboard. And finally, we had success! With the pegboard in place, it's time for the fun part. Decorating. I took my time reorganizing to find the most aesthetically pleasing and functional setup. These are my boyfriend's VHS tapes, and I've wanted to display them for years but had nowhere to put them. But I've also had this freaking shelf for years that I've never hung because I kept thinking I needed to wait for its perfect purpose to be fulfilled. Well, after years of not fulfilling that purpose, I realized its perfect purpose was to hold these VHS tapes. Yes, the fact that we even have VHS tapes dates us as absolute fucking dinosaurs. I have a lot of plushies. If that bothers you, I don't even know why why you're watching this video. But chances are, you probably like plushies too if you are watching this video. I usually keep all my plushies on the spare bed in this room, but I got so tired of having to take them off and move them back on every time we had a guest stay the night, so I've been slowly lessening the amount I have on the bed, but there was still too many. After a quick search on Amazon, I was able to get one more thing to help me with this plushie mission. A plushie net. Oh my god, I'm getting so tired of saying the word plushie. Once installed, it gently cradles my stuffed collection up and out of the way. Now there is no fear of them getting squashed and toppled over. Another thing that's been taking up room and adding clutter that I'd much rather put on display is my wide array of Mickey Mouse ears. I have ears that I've purchased at the parks as well as ears I've made, and I don't want them in a drawer collecting dust. I want them on my wall collecting dust. I have 3 cats and a dog, so like my house gets dusty super fast, okay? Don't judge. I got these ear display holders on Amazon as well, and they are perfect for the job. Well, sort of perfect. First, I tried to remove one to adjust its location and ended up taking a chunk of the wall with it. So I glued it back with some Gorilla Glue and pretended like nothing happened. Second, after filming this video, over half of them have since fallen, but I honestly blame my walls for that and not the actual product. The paint on my walls sucks ass and it's notorious for things not sticking to it or for chunks of it to just easily peel off. I will forever have beef with the company I hired to paint my house. Here's that bed I mentioned, and believe it or not, this is significantly less plushies than before, and most of the ones that are left are big enough that it's easy to organize if they get messed up. I never actually showed what this corner fully looked like, but pretty much this was my hide it away and hope it cleans itself corner. But now I endeavor to make it my fully functional, very tidy corner. Don't mind the girl in the shower cap. She's a multitasking bee and was dyeing her hair while filming this portion of the video. Time to hang another shelf I've been saving for years with no purpose in sight. My go-to technique for hanging things with more than one hook or slot is to take a piece of masking tape across the length of my shelf or frame, then poke holes in the tape where the hanging holes are on the piece. Now just level the tape on the wall and draw dots through the holes in the tape and voila! You know exactly where to drill or hammer. These shelves I got at Goodwill, and I quickly learned why they were at Goodwill. Because they actually suck. These are the worst floating shelves I've ever used. They only have a very shallow bracket that rests on a very small screw. My other floating shelves actually had thick dowels that secured deep into the shelf to ensure absolute stability. So yeah, I'm counting down the days before one of these either falls on their own or one of my dumbass cats jumps on it and breaks it with their dumbass booties. Dumbass booties? That's rather redundant, isn't it? Dumbasses? Dumb booties? Nah, just, you know, cats being cats. I love my boyfriend. I've already mentioned him an obnoxious number of times in this video, but organization is not his strong suit. Exhibit A. Actually, the one thing he does know how to organize are his video games because that's his hyperfixation, but if you examine the shelf more closely, hiding behind the neat row of video games is a pile of random things tossed into the drawer. This drawer is alright, just more video games, but the third one? Absolutely no cohesion to this mess. And the other 3 drawers? Absolute disaster. So, I'm going to organize them because I love organizing shit. It was best to start with a clean slate. I emptied all the drawers and made some loose piles based on the type of item. The biggest culprit contributing to this clutter? All of his handheld game systems and the powered cables that went with them. So I went to work trying to find the best container to hold all this stuff and realized I needed to make a run to the $1.25 store. Upon return, I had shiny brand new, albeit very cheap, storage containers to organize with. Whoops, hello there, hidden items. These shelves, I end up reorganizing a few times before I find the right layout to hold everything neatly. Once the majority of these contents were organized, I decided to embark on another stupid project because I hate myself. I wanted to take out one of these drawers and make it into a shelf instead so we can display a few more items like another video game console. At first, I thought I could use a spare bookcase shelf I had, but it was too short, so then I thought I could just drill a plank of wood onto that shelf to make it longer. I attempted this on my own and realized I'd probably sooner hurt myself than drill this wood into the shelf, so I had my boyfriend hold it together for me, but the wood plank split and the particle board of the shelf itself was not going to support the screw for any length of time. So that idea was a flop. Any sane person would have given up on this project and just put the drawer back in, but I am no sane person. I mean, I make YouTube videos. You have to be a little insane to pursue such a calling. Now that I've thoroughly built up your anticipation in regards to this shelf, I'm going to continue organizing the rest of the room before tackling that shelf again. I was able to do some much needed cable management with my Switch, capture card, and HDMI cables in this corner here, and now my capture card is no longer subjected to living on the floor. I do not recommend keeping something as important as a capture card on the floor. Oop, here's Donut looking to investigate. And let's get that again on instant replay. Look at his little body do a jelly roll. I kid you not, I laughed out loud at this for like 5 minutes straight while editing. This little cable cover is very nifty, but unfortunately doesn't quite work with my type of carpet. I have to really rub it in deep. Don't. I know what y'all are thinking. Into the carpet fibers to keep it mostly in place, but it does come loose pretty easily. But it is better than having no cable cover at all. Adding some last minute decor and collectibles. Now, back to the project you've all been waiting for. I went to Home Depot to get a slab of wood cut for my ambitious self-project, but was once again infuriated when I went to install this new shelf. The dang frame I want to rest the damn shelf on protrudes too far and I wasn't able to angle the shelf in past it. But at this point, I'm $22 and an hour trip to Home Depot deep, so I sure as hell was not going to give up. Now this next part might make some of y'all irrationally angry, and if it does, I implore you to take a deep breath and remind yourself, this is not your piece of furniture. You do not need to be mad at what someone else does to their own furniture. With that being said, I decided to saw into the support frames. But look, this thing is solid wood and sturdy as an ox, so even with the slots cut into the frame, I'm not too pressed about it compromising the integrity of the drawer set overall. But my god, this was another pain in the ass project and I only have myself to blame. I sawed and sanded as much as I dared. I was reaching that threshold of, if I go any further, then yes, the stability of this will most certainly be compromised. But that goddamn shelf still would not fit. I was getting like Hulk level angry at this point, but I enlisted the help of my construction trained brother and he cut like a 1/4 inch off the side of that shelf, which was all I needed to slide it in effortlessly. My first test of sliding it in was not recorded because my camera decided to stop recording after 25 seconds, but it did finally fit. Once that debacle was through, it was time to paint. Look at how nasty this paint is though. It's kind of old now, so it got really chunky, but it got the job done. And finally, nothing is more satisfying than an annoyingly difficult project coming together. Here comes the quality control brigade. Oh my god. you go? Now that it's confirmed it fits and Donut's fat ass tested its durability, it's time to add a console and LED lights. Not you too. Get down. The absolute last thing to do before I call this project a success is cable management. I've been avoiding managing these cables since I built my PC because cable management is just so tedious and annoying, and given that my desk is smack dab in the middle of the room instead of up against a wall, it's kind of impossible to hide all the cables. But I figured it was time to at least tame the beast. Somewhat. Cables looking completely beautiful, but I'm able to tidy them up a bit and get them out of the way as much as possible. Let's add the rest of my streaming necessities like ring light, clamp to hold my GoPro, and now an extra nightstand for a little more desk space. And that should do it. I have gone through many iterations of organizing in this room, and I have yet to find one that's actually worked long term, but I think with all this new storage and display systems, we should be able to keep this room fairly clean and organized for a long time. And that's a wrap. If this video sparked motivation in you to organize your own rooms, please let me know down in the comments below and what you did to organize your room. And if you want to see more nerdy crafts, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Here's little Pevfoot with his cute little skull and crossbone hoodie that he has to wear because he has a scab on his back that he keeps picking at. It's my good Pevfoot boy.